Hello everyone, I am Monalisha Padi. I am a legal intern at Lexis and Company, and I am a third year student of Bharati Vidyapeeth Nolo College, Pune. And today's topic is Stridhan and Women's Estate under Section 14 of Hindu Succession Act 1956. Citizen and women's estate means women's property. In the entire history of Hindu law, women's rights to hold and dispose of property has been recognized. Section 14 of Hindu Succession Act 1956 provides that any property possessed by a Hindu female, whether acquired before or after the commencement of this act, shall be held by her as full owner thereof and not as limited owner. Subsection 1 explains further that property in this subsection includes both movable and immovable property acquired by her by inheritance, partition, gift, or will, or acquired in lieu of maintenance, or areas of maintenance, or acquired by her own skill or exertion, or by purchase or by prescription of any other manner whatsoever, and also any property held by her as season immediately before the commencement of the said act. It is immaterial whether it be obtained by inheritance of the deceased husband, separate property of his share in co-partnership property by virtue of the provision to Section 6 of the Act, or by device of a deceased husband or gift from a relative or any other person, and whether before, at, or after her marriage. But as expressly provided by subsection 2 of this section, a Hindu female shall not be entitled to hold any property as an absolute owner if she has acquired the same by the way of gift or under a will or any other instrument, or under any other degree or order of a civil court, or under an award where the terms of the gift, will, or any other instrument or the decree, order, or award prescribed a restricted estate in such property. Thus, Section 14 has abolished women's limited estate by converting it into Stridhan as converted existing women estates into full estates. It has introduced fundamental changes in the traditional Hindu law of property of women. The object of this section are to remove all disability of Hindu women to acquire and deal with property. That is, all the property that she acquires with will be her absolute property, to convert existing woman's estate into full estate. The requirement of being possessed in subsection 1 applies only to the woman estate existing at the time of commencement of the act. This obviously cannot apply to the properties acquired by her after the commencement of the act. This section has qualified retrospective application. It applies retrospectively to the women estate which were in the possession of the Hindu female when the act came into force. It does not apply to those women estate over which she had no possession when the act came into force. To such estates, old Hindu law continued to be applied. The powers of Hindu woman over her woman estate. Power of management. Like the Karta of a Hindu joint family, she has full power of management. The Karta is merely a co-owner of the joint family, there being other co-partners, but she is the sole owner. She alone is entitled to the possession of the entire estate and income. Her power of spending the income is absolute. Second is power of alienation. She has limited power of alienation. Like Karta, her powers are limited and she can alienate powers only in exceptional cases. She can alienate the power for the following. First is legal necessity. Second is the benefit of estate, and the third is for the discharge of indispensable duties, such as marriage of daughters, funeral rites of her husband, his shraddha, and gifts to brahmanas for the salvation of the soul. That is, she can alienate her estate for the spiritual benefit of the last owner, but not for her own spiritual benefit. Third is surrender, means remuneration of a state by the female owner. She has the power to renouncing the state in favor of the nearest reservationer. This means that by a voluntary act she can accelerate the estate of the reversioner by conveying absolute the state, thereby destroying her own state. Fourth is reversioners. On the death of the female owner, the estate reverts to the hire of her heirs of the last owner, as if the latter died when the limited estate ceased. Such has may be male or female, known as reservisteners. As long as the estate endures, there are no reservationers through there is always presumptive reversioner who has only a succession. Fifth is the right of reversioners. The reversioners have a right to prevent the female owner from using the property wastefully or alienating it improperly. It is in the context that expression presumptive reversioner came into vogue. The reservation have following three rights. First is they can sue a woman holder for an injection to restrain waste. Second is they can in a representative capacity, sue for a declaration that alienation made by the widow is null and void and will not be binding on them after the death of the widow. Third is they can, after the death of woman or after the termination of estate, if earlier filed a suit for declaration that an alienation made by the widow was proper and did not bind them. That's all for the topic. Thank you. Please like and comment on the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you.